It's time to get your checking account to zero with free checking from PenFed. That's zero ATM fees, zero balance requirements, and zero time spent waiting for your paycheck to direct deposit because you can receive it up to 2 days early. Open your account with just $25 and see how big zero can be. Apply online today at penfed.org/free checking. Early direct deposit eligibility may vary between pay periods and timing of payers' funding. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
All right, Degan and Brayden, Linne, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So, Brayden, you were 2019 graduate,
Yes, sir. Yep.
2000, and then Degan 2022.
Yep, that's correct.
Both honor roll students, Ketchikan High School. Both state runners-up in wrestling.
Yep.
Won't say anything more about that. And then Blacktail hunters, killers.
Blacktail.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
That's it. That's pretty much
pretty much it. Brayden, you were talking about your pilot's license. After you graduated, what was that process like? You're in the process of getting it. You have it. What are you doing with that?
Well, the whole goal was just to have just the private, kind of just fly my grandpa's airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really think I would get a commercial or anything, but it's kind of fun, so I might try to make it a career.
When did you first start flying? Like, when did you kind of say, I want to do this? Because there's a difference between I don't mind flying versus I actually want to fly.
I would say that my parents helped me. I had to have a little bump to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was kind of a hard thing to do. I tried to do it in Ketchikan. I had tried to get hours and stuff, but never worked out. So then my parents made me just go down south and get it done.
Nice. Where'd you go? Arizona?
Tucson, yeah.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah, there you go. Degan, college wrestler.
Yep.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good. I wrestled 41 my first semester, but I felt like I was cutting too much weight. I was the starter at 41, but it was just too hard to maintain. I think I went 7-7. So that was pretty good for a freshman, I'd say. And then after Christmas break, eating all my parents' food again, I'm out of the cafeteria, so I bulked up a little bit, so I couldn't make that weight anymore. Coach was a little bummed, but is what it is. And then I was no longer the starter anymore. We had a pretty studly guy at 149, so.
Well, it's college. Like, people are getting recruited to go there. It's not just throwing people out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I always tell my parents, it's like every match is like a state finals match in college. Warm-up matches in college,
No joke. People are there on purpose. That's pretty cool. It's the same thing with anything, really, any college sport. Like, that's next level. And part of the reasons why so many people don't participate in college athletics is they recognize that it's over. It's like, I don't really want to go through college athletics. I'm done with basketball. I'm done with football.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it being over. The other people who have to drive, it's tough. It's a full-time job. And
absolutely.
It's pretty cool. So, to the main ticket item here, deer hunting. When did you guys first start hunting? Was it a package deal when you guys were both old enough, or did you get left behind a couple of years digging before while Brayden got to go? How did that start?
We used to go on Prince of Wales trips, take the ferry over there.
Yep, that's how it started, taking the car over, bringing some extra gas and just driving the roads.
We would never get anything.
Yeah.
My dad was never really like a big-time hunter. He kind of he would go with people.
Oh, okay.
Kind of took us just to kind of get us out there, but that was the start. I think we shot probably 2 deer in 5 years.
Yeah, no, definitely pretty slow. Yeah.
Well, that's the perception of. I guess we can reveal Prince of Wales because it's on. People talk about it. People know about it.
Oh yeah.
People think it's going to be easy, and I guess compared to what you're coming from in Colorado or Wyoming or wherever you're coming up from, it's a huge, fun place that you can drive and get away from people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are a lot of deer around comparatively, but it's not as easy as it looks. It's a lot. The terrain is much more dense than people think.
Yeah.
Just driving the road system, you can luck into them. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are talking about the population being so much worse than it was, is you used to be able to drive around and shoot 4 points.
Yeah.
Now it's tough to drive around and shoot a forky.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I think that's one of the main things. And then a lot of those logging areas that were great habitat is just they were coming back a couple of years after being logged. Deer were in there, and again, it was easy to get to those areas because the logging roads were intact, and it was perfect for perfect habitat, but those have all aged out.
Yeah, a lot of
and
food,
hunting an
not anymore.
old clear cut is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
So you've graduated since then
Yep.
to different areas.
Yep.
When did you first like the first deer that really made you think, we really need to do this, like every year, multiple times a year? This is definitely what I want to do.
Well, I will say, so we were lucky enough to have 88 acres of land, private land. So when we were younger, we'd set up game cams and whatnot and get some does, maybe a fork and horn here and there. And we got this massive 4x3 at the time. It was probably about 100-inch deer, so we've gotten bigger deer than that so far, but it was really big to us at the time. So we got a picture of that guy, and we were hunting after him for day after day. Brayden would go before school. It's kind of crazy waking up.
Was this like middle school, high school?
This was like middle school.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
Brayden was in middle school. I was probably like 5th or 6th grade. And I remember, Brayden can tell a story of, I think he ran into him one time. I never got to see him, though.
Yeah, it was. I might have told you this already, but I was taking my dog up there just to have a partner, just hang out with it.
Yeah.
And I forgot my deer call at home. So bummed. Walking up the little logging road we have up there, and I sat down next to this piece of flagging tape, and I kind of gave it a little, and I just knew it was over. I was like, I'm just gonna hike back. So I sat there for a minute, and my dog kind of ear flickered, looked over, and I looked over, and there's this rack coming over the hill.
Oh man.
And it just kind of looks just over and sees me and ducks down. And I was just, ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. Oh my God. So I tried to put a bullet in. It's a semi-auto Mini 14.
Yeah.
What's that called?
You try to get it.
Not a bolt action, but
you had to get it in the receiver. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't go in, and I thought it did. I didn't even look. I just pulled it back and let it go. So I went to shoot it. Click.
Nothing.
I did it again. I did it like 3 times because I was kind of freaking out. And ended up taking the clip out, putting a bullet in, and by the time that happened, my dog chased it off.
Oh, nice.
Never saw it again.
And how old are you? That was a high school thing?
That was probably 7th, 8th grade.
7th grade, okay. All right, it's the same time.
Yeah.
So what are your parents thinking? You just said, hey, we're going to head out, look for deer. We're going to put game cameras. Do they buy you the game cameras? How did that all start?
So I think my dad pretty
how did
much
that-
bought us the game cameras, and then, I never really went out when I was super young, like 5th or 6th grade. I was more like in middle school when I would go out by myself. But I remember Brayden would always be out there going out by himself, just, hey, I'm gonna go take the gun out for a hike, So
It wouldn't work very often, but once in a while.
yeah,
Good habit to have, because that
Yeah.
was still when a lot of your peers were wasting time doing other stuff or spending time doing other stuff.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say necessarily wasting, but I remember growing up in Klawak, just having to be self-sufficient. We'd just go out and play in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Even in high school, like we would chop down trees. I know it's illegal. Like the statute of limitations. That was a long time ago. We chopped down some of these older trees and just like build little forts that were like log cabins. It was just kind of the old homestead type thing, but you just entertain yourself, walk down to the river and fish. And it was just, parents didn't worry where we're at. It was just make sure you're home by 6. And it was just so fun to be able to do that. And
yeah.
you learn a lot of the stuff about the terrain and habitat. And I didn't hunt growing up, but fished all the time.
Yeah.
So much fun to fish. Such a great thing to have. So your time away from Ketchikan, did you kind of miss that, being able to just go right outside? Because you're not doing that in Tucson.
Oh no. I was only down there for a month though.
Okay.
It wasn't too long, but yeah, that was totally different. I was staying in a casino hotel. Never went to the casino once, but a lot of people. I don't know. I don't like the city like that really.
Mm-hmm. You weren't tempted to go to the casino? Just to see what it's about? Just go to the...
Was I 21 or 20 at the time?
I think you're 21.
I didn't do it. I didn't go to any bars. I didn't have time. I was just studying every day, all day.
Yeah. Keep your priorities straight. That's good. What about you? You're in...
North Dakota.
North Dakota, yeah. So they got a lot of outdoor stuff there.
Well, yeah, in like the fall and springtime, and they have ice fishing, but I never went ice fishing, but I was always just stuck in my dorm. It's super snowy there, not a whole lot to do if you don't know anybody that can take you hunting or fishing. So I was stuck in my dorm room for so long, and then by the time I got home, I think I remember the first week I was out in the woods with Brayden almost every day. We were even, obviously not hunting season's not open, but we were shed hunting and going fishing. And I remember the first week I told my boss, hey, I can't work this first week. I need to be in the woods and have some alone time.
Do you get much shed hunting? I never go shed hunting. I just go walking around and I happen to find sheds. And a lot of times I find the sheds during deer season because it's like it can get swallowed up so quickly with moss and it's so thick. It's hard to, there's people that are getting hundreds and hundreds of pounds of elk antlers and whatnot.
Yeah.
You just find where the herd was during winter. Yeah. They drop the antlers and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Do you get sheds on shed hunting missions? Or
I'll say it really just depends on the day. Usually we'll find if we spend it all day, maybe like 2 or 3. But there's been a day that Brayden found 10, and I found 1.
Yeah.
I found 1, so that was a pretty bad day for me.
There was another day you found like 5 or 6 though.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, that might have been my PR, maybe 5 in a day. But it's usually like 2 or 3 a day if we spend an all day.
Yeah. Do you go out to spots where you've hunted or where you have game cameras or random spots?
We usually, we've only gone to this one area that we like to hunt. We recently put a couple game cams over there, but usually just that one spot, spots we've hunted before, see if there's any good genetics there or anything like that.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
You ever know there's some deer around because you check out some of the rubs, you think there's got to be a mega around here, but you never see him, and then you see it later on the game camera?
We don't really have very many game cams. I only have 1 right now. We did, we were hunting we were shed hunting this spot originally. We found 10 sheds, and all of them were 3 and 4 points. So we were set going that spot. And we'd shoot 2-point after 2-point every year. And we were like pretty bummed.
Yeah.
We couldn't find anything. And this last year, went over there, took my girlfriend for a hunt. She's only shot 1 deer. Blew the call. Here comes a crusher 4-point.
Nice.
Missed it.
Oh, boy.
It happens, but I had to leave town for work. And I told Degan, I said, you got to go and get it.
Yeah. So that's where I come into play. So it was about Thanksgiving time. So I said, Mom, you got to get me a ticket home. I got to go get this thing. So I tried coming home, and I overfly to Juneau because there was too much wind or whatever, something like that. So I had to stay the night in Juneau, and my 3-day hunting trip turned into like a 1-day hunting trip. So I have like half a day, and I remember I had to be on the plane at like 3 or 4. So I went over there super early, and I didn't think I was going to get anything. I was just having fun in the woods, All of a sudden, I come over to this top of this crest of this hill, and I see him at like 15 yards.
Oh, jeez.
We both make eye contact, and within 2-3 seconds, it's gone, full sprint. So, and I seen it as soon as it looked at me. I knew it was him. Massive, wide, tall, all you wish for, running away.
Do you worry about educating them? Because sometimes it seems like you hear about people who I saw him once and I saw him again, and then the third time was a charm. I'm like, it seems to never happen to me.
I know. I've never seen a deer twice like that, I feel like.
The only time I see something twice is if like I saw one and then like 2 days later one of you would come to class and show a picture of the dead deer. I was like, yep, that's the one. I think that happened when you were a junior, Brayden. You got a big deer and someone would say, oh, did you see Brayden's deer? I was like, no, I had him first hour, but he didn't say anything about it. And then I was like, Brayden, you shoot a nice buck? He
I
said,
remember.
yeah. I was like, why didn't you tell me? He said, well, I didn't want you to feel bad. I was like, oh, well. we knew we were hunting kind of the same area. It wasn't like the exact same spot, but it was kind of funny. I was like, yeah, that's a nice guy. Worried about his teacher's feelings.
That's funny. I remember that.
Yeah, some of those areas, I think that the bucks get so something. I don't know what it is, but you always see a couple, and maybe they get shot off the record, but there's always like a 4-point in town somewhere.
Oh, I know.
And then they just kind of, it's about maybe this time, a couple of weeks from now, I guess, right before the opener.
Yeah.
And then, when a lot of people that are shooting around in this area are getting smaller deer, but they're just something about they're smart, or their instincts are really, really good, honed in. Yeah. I don't know. But then there's also stupid ones where people just shoot them right standing next to the road. Like, what's going on here?
I know.
Has there been something that's actually, first we should go alpine first. Is there some alpine tactic that you've learned that's been really good? I mean, alpine's fairly easy. If you get to an area where it's good habitat, it's just a matter of your morning session, your evening session, but also I shot my first 4-point at like noon because he was just bedded in the shade in this little crevice area, so it was hot as heck.
Yeah.
But it was noon. He just happened to be bedded down in the shade, and that was where I got him.
Yeah.
But anything about alpine hunting that you've learned?
Well, I will say over the years, I feel like being more patient when you can at a deer. You spot him and you just instantly want to run to him and go shoot him, but it always doesn't work out like that. You got to see around him, see if there's any does that'll blow you out or something like that. So I feel like being patient when you can. Obviously, if there's a 10-minute window, you don't have time to be patient.
And depending how far it is or whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes in August the deer kind of stand there and don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. What's that? And sometimes they see it from a long ways away and run. So like you were saying, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to depend. But that discipline, and also cutting the distance in a smart way. You can get really excited because you've been thinking about it for the last 9 months.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Or if it's alpine season, it's a whole different thing. You've been thinking about it for 10 months.
Yeah.
And think, I just can't wait. I can't wait. And so you run over stupid, or you get skylined, or you don't take the time. I think also cutting the distance, because a lot of times they're in areas where you can, if you're patient, you take some notice of where this bulge is, or where this scree is, or this whatever is, you can cut the distance a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes if you don't pay attention and you rush it, you end up losing your frame of reference. And so you go too far, or you pop off too early or something like that. But just kind of being calm, I think that patience is an important thing to have. And then cutting the distance. I don't know if I've shot further than 200 yards in the alpine.
Yeah.
Have you guys taken long shots, or pretty close?
I've taken one pretty far one, but it's kind of a Hail Mary. But talking about closing the distance, the first 4-point we got in the alpine, me and Degan, saw it from probably 500, 600 yards away and watched it for like 3 hours as the sun came up, just because there was no opportunity to get to it. And just like you said, we weren't paying attention about where it was compared to where we were. And I'm sure it moved a little bit, but we popped over the hill and it was like 20 yards away from us, turned its head right out. Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Pretty crazy.
Did you get him?
Just barely.
Yeah.
Just
Took a
barely,
couple shots.
Yeah. That's when it becomes a little western, it becomes a rodeo. That's a little bit. That's crazy. Another thing to consider: some of those areas where, especially at the morning dew, those things can slide a long way. I had that happen with one of mine where I was about ready to call it because it had been so hot for so many days in a row, and the fog had lifted, but there was nothing. I just saw something sticking up above this deer's head, and I had these really cheap $50 Bushnell trophy binoculars that, like, my glasses did better than that.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. I can't tell what it is, but I made the stock down to it, thought I'd spooked it, but I hadn't. I'd been really good, and popped up and it was right there. Shot it, and then just slid. And then I got down to it, and then I lifted its head, but it was being held in by an antler.
And it went again.
So like it twisted my wrist, and then I had to let go. So down again. So I had to all the way to take care of it, then up and over, pick up camp and go. But that was like one of my first solo alpine success, nice deer.
Yeah.
So you feel great about it, but you learn terrain. You learn tie off antlers if it's really steep. You learn, where to shoot stuff, where you're gonna find them, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty important, but a lot of fun. And then what about rut?
What about rut? Should
Yeah.
I say?
Do you like calling a certain way? Have you do you rattle more than call because of certain areas that get more pressure, more patience, time of day? Like, what have you learned about rut? That's kind of your game plan going in.
One thing I will say about rut is, I know me and Brayden practice this a lot, is just get far as you can away from like the road systems or the easy accessible land that most people will go to, and that seems to where we find most of our deer.
But I will say that's a lot. We're hunting a lot more pressured areas, probably closer to town. I don't know. I think not going directly to a muskeg, which a lot of people think, and I'm sure you know this too, but going to where the deer actually are, like in the thick brush sometimes, or just like the medium open timber. That's where I usually try to call at. Sometimes muskegs, but I don't know. I usually find them in the timber.
Yeah, you can get them walking through the muskeg. People always get that. Oh, it came around the corner. It's a nice 4x4.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was learning was just how many. There's always that trail that goes around the muskeg. And sometimes you have tracks through the muskeg, but there's always that trail that goes around in that transition area.
Yeah.
And so they can be bedded right in there. And so as you're walking down the middle of the muskeg, they see you and they're out the back before you even see anything. And so you think, oh, there's nothing there. Nothing came to the call. Well, it saw what was calling.
Yeah.
And especially in high traffic areas, they know what happens there.
Yeah.
There are times where I don't even call in some areas just because they're used to calls.
Oh, yeah.
They've been called to so much. So, like, I'm going to maybe rattle, maybe grunt, but I'm just going to be as still and quiet and observant as possible and get further, like you said.
Yeah.
And I even sometimes, like, play the wind and totally overthink it. But, okay, most people are going to go here, and they're going to push them to here. So if I loop all the way around here to get to here, they're going to push right to where I'm going to be.
Does that ever work?
I don't know. I think it may have worked once.
Yeah.
It does get me a little bit tired and pissed off. So it was noon, and I thought this was the easiest way back there is to go through the muskegs, but I didn't want to do that. And so you loop around in this horrible,
twice as long,
loud sow. And so by the time you get back there, you're just irritated. But I think that's the right frame of mind, I think, a lot of times to have. And how can I get back to this area? And if everyone's going to do this, then maybe I should do something else. But
that's our problem too. I feel like we hike way too far. Yeah, I think we are, you know, how Degan was saying, try to get to an area where no one has hunted to an extreme level though, because we'll hike like 2-3 miles and then start hunting, which is, I guess those deer don't know what the call is, hopefully, but
some of those old timers, they'll post about doing a mile and a half circuit and just being so still and so quiet and patient, and that's why they get them. And I'm thinking, man, if you're doing a mile circuit off the road, you're not getting very far.
No.
That goes against, but I think that's part of, if you're older and you're more patient, that works to your advantage.
Yeah.
If you're younger and you're more fit and gung-ho, then maybe that's beneficial to you too. But I don't know. It's hard to tell because you never know anybody's batting average. The person who does the 1 mile circuit, it might work once a year.
Yeah.
And they do it 30 times. So, all right. You might do the walk 3 extra miles, but, you know, maybe that works at a higher percentage, but it's hard to tell. Because few people post when they didn't actually get anything.
Yeah.
But
What seems to work for me is just walking down game trails and bumping them, honestly.
Yeah.
And just having you only have a quick couple seconds to shoot them, but that seems to work. I don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing when you walk up on one or it stands up and you think, oh my gosh, here it's happening.
Yeah.
It's right here.
I got 3 seconds.
If they're obstructed by branches or anything, I've done that where I was approaching, I was still about 100 yards out, but it was that great transition. So 100 yards from the muskeg, this is where the deer are. Yeah. And I was just walking as quiet as possible, and then it just stood up and there was no shot. I could just see like eyes, and there was a branch, and antlers, and there was another branch, and then the whole body was obstructed, and it just kind of walked away. Didn't really spook, and so I just did really, really low, quiet. I was going to say cow call. That's mixing up my elk there. Doe bleat, and then waited about 5 minutes, and then just slowly pursued, and it had only gone about 15, 20 yards. And then got a shot, but it was patience I didn't think I had.
Yeah.
I was like inside my brain. I was so upset that I had spooked or I'd ruined it, but sticking with it. You guys get frustrated sometimes, or are you guys pretty even keel?
I feel like Degan never gets frustrated. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
just like being. I like being out there enough that I don't really get frustrated. If I do miss a big one, though, you only get a few opportunities like that in a couple years.
Yeah.
Like last season, I think I missed 2 really nice ones, and I was pretty frustrated by the end of the season.
Yeah. But you don't get frustrated.
Yeah, I mean,
Degan
I
doesn't really.
try not to get frustrated. It kind of just fuels me for the next hunt, I guess. Just eggs me on that much more. So I don't know. It's some things you can't control, you can't get mad about. I mean, obviously, if you mess up a 10-yard shot, I'd probably be frustrated at myself.
I don't even know if that would be beyond frustrating. I'd just probably drop the rifle and walk away.
Well, the 4-point I was telling you about, I called it in. I blew the call one time, and it came full sprint, probably 15, 20 yards. And it was looking at me for 30 seconds. I didn't think it was that big till I kind of got a different angle and was like, oh, wow, and proceeded to miss.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, though.
It happens. But you guys are on a pretty good streak now, right? You guys have shot some nice 4-points. So how has that changed things? I mean, you guys are in your early 20s, and you've already bagged some monsters. How does that impact? Can you still get excited over a forky, or are you still...
Oh, sometimes, yeah. I think that it gives you patience, definitely. Being able to know that you can pass a few deer and not be too upset.
Does that make you a trophy hunter?
It could, I guess, yeah.
A little bit, I guess, yeah.
I like the meat, though, so I'll shoot a few fork and horns if I haven't gotten any.
Having 4 tags, well, why not?
Yeah.
There's no... Yeah, and I don't think... We get in the habit of having to justify, and we'll post something, oh, it's a great meat buck. Well, you don't have to validate the fact that you shot a forky. If you shot a forky, good. You got some deer. It's fine. But living in an area where there's enough deer to be able to kind of sort through.
Yeah.
You don't have to shoot. If you shot every deer you saw, some years you'd be done by mid-August.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's nice to save a tag or two for rut, but my wife is not a big fan of rut hunting. She wants to shoot all of them in the alpine in August, she said.
Really?
Yeah, she said even if it takes us a week to haul them out, we're shooting all of them in August because she hates rut hunting. She just hates.
Does she not like eating it? Is that why?
Oh, she loves eating it. She loves the meat.
Frustrated?
But just the cold, wet waiting.
Yeah.
Sloppiness. And if you grow up here, I think it's different. But she's not from here, and so it's dark and miserable and cold, and so it's a little bit different. Yeah. She was pretty patient when she was elk hunting in Wyoming. You get a little sun, a little bit warmer, a little bit, obviously a lot drier. But so I think she's going to be really gunning this August, which is fine.
Yeah.
So.
I also think when you shoot a big buck in the rut, it's that much more rewarding. Because in alpine hunt, you can see 20 bucks in one day. Mm-hmm. You can pick and choose which one you want. But when you shoot a big one in the rut, it's like you might only see one of those the whole year.
Yeah.
So just for me, it's just that much more rewarding.
Yeah, I will say we shoot a lot more nice deer in the alpine than the rut, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because we go more or we're more dedicated to that, but now I want to shoot a nice one in the rut. I'm kind of switched.
Yeah, I also think another thing is we're always wrestling and busy with school.
That's
I know
true
for me,
also,
I'm gone with college now, so I don't get a good chance to go rut hunting as much as alpine hunting.
Yeah, the daylight hours and then the time. You can go anytime.
Yeah.
And you can go during the week, too, with most people going out during the weekends because they have jobs, for teachers and unless people are getting like a week off or taking a week off, which a lot of people do, too.
Yeah.
But, the rut situation is just different. You have the advantage that you can call something in, but it's hard to know where they're at. You go to the alpine, you can see so much.
Yeah.
And you kind of know the terrain, those edges, and the time of day.
And they pop out, they're orange.
Yeah, orange against that green.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty
easy to see. Yeah. But, it's pretty fun. You ever thought about archery? Do any archery hunting?
I actually brought a bow last time we went alpine hunting.
Nice. What kind of bow did you get?
My dad has a Matthews, and I have a, oh my gosh, I totally forgot the name. It's an M16, but I always forget the brand name. What's it called, Degan?
I don't know. I forget.
Oh my gosh.
Huh.
I've only used it like 5 times. I'm kind of...
Like you've only shot it 5 times, or you've only taken it out hunting 5 times?
Hunting 5 times. I never shot anything with it. What's it called?
I have no idea.
I think it's a prime.
Yeah.
I think it's prime. One of my friends works at a bow shop, and he just set it up for me, so I didn't really have to think about any of it.
Yeah, that's pretty nice when you can just do that. You get too caught up in brands and everything, it's just whatever, man. Just whatever. Once you start to realize what you like or what you want in a bow, then you can start thinking,
Yeah.
Maybe if the bow was this, then I'd appreciate it more. But mine was just, they happen to have it here, and it wasn't too expensive. So it's an elite, but I don't know if, I'm not going to get an elite tattoo or anything like that because I'm loyal to anything like that. You look at some of the Hoyt bows and look cool, but I don't know the difference. I don't know Matthews. I don't know. But
Expedition archery is what it is.
yeah.
That's what it is.
There you go. Yeah. Degan?
Yeah, I really want to get into bow hunting, but I just feel like I don't have enough money. I'm a college student, pretty broke. And then also the time factor. I feel like I don't have a lot of time to shoot that, every week or whatnot. I'm always gone out of town or whatever.
Yeah. It's fun to shoot. And it's nice to have space here. I can go 40 yards from that telephone pole to right there.
Yeah.
Across the driveway. So it's pretty nice to have some space to shoot. And that's frustrating too. That
I was just about to ask you. I know you've done that quite a bit.
Oh, man. Sometimes you just feel like you're just nails. It's great.
Yeah.
And other times it's no good. I missed bucks on consecutive days. Nice ones right on the edge. Same sort of stuff. Just felt great on the edge of the muskeg. And I dropped the bow to watch the flight of the arrow, which dropped, and I just saw the arrow in bed. I didn't have time to range, and that ranging is so important. I should just take the time to range. And I thought it was about 30 yards, and it was like 45, which was a huge difference. Huge difference if you're shooting a bow. And then the other time, I had my fleece all zipped up because it was cold and it was raining, and I was just sitting there. And when I drew back on the other, it was right perfectly broadside, 30 yards in front of me. I took the time to range it, but then I couldn't find my anchor because I had the extra fabric on my jaw, and then I couldn't feel my hand, and so I was just kind of like fiddling around for my anchor, and I shot left by about a foot. Yeah, God. So many things could definitely go wrong,
Definitely.
The caribou, everything was dialed in. It was nice to I was like 60 yards, man. This thing's dead. I'd practiced a lot. I would draw my bow, kneel, stand back up, and shoot. Like I was just getting after it.
Yeah, so what's the furthest range you're comfortable shooting at?
I practiced a lot to that. So it's like
60,
but it felt like a good effective range.
Yeah.
So I was, I just smoked it. It was great. But totally different thing because so many other things have to go right.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's just a nice thing to just shoot, come home after school or shoot before school, and just in that fun little challenge to do. So it's something to get into too. But and what about gear? I remember a couple times when I've seen you guys out there, it was just like school backpacks and jeans and just like, which is great because us adults, people who've been, we talk about gear and stuff, but like the kids, just that you guys are in it just to hunt. And now that you're young adults, you're getting more into gear and you can save up some money and get some sort of stuff. So what was some of the first gear that you got? You guys are both wearing KUIU shirts.
So the first gear I think Brayden bought me it actually. I don't remember how old I was, maybe a freshman or sophomore in high school, but the first real gear we got was Yukon jacket and pants from KUIU. So
that was a big upgrade.
Definitely a big upgrade.
What was it before?
We didn't really have anything.
Yeah. Well, you had like some guy cotton hoodies or something like that. You just take whatever is kind of warm. You're not wearing, regular cotton stuff like that. You kind of know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I had like a windbreaker pants I would always wear, but my legs would get wet through it.
I think I remember I had an old Patagonia raincoat.
Yeah.
I had that for a few years and then upgraded to KUIU.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's nice to get stuff that's made for hunting.
Yeah.
There's a difference, especially with layering. Yeah. You're trying to put together like a Patagonia jacket with a guy cotton hooded sweatshirt, and then it's just the mix and match stuff. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very.
Technology is good. The layering is good, but it's pretty expensive. So you guys got some good rain gear. Mm-hmm. You guys got packs. You guys were talking about Stone Glacier. You guys both have Stone Glacier packs?
Yep, exact same. 6,900, whatever those.
Nice.
What was it?
Sky Talus.
Sky Talus 6,900.
And brand new this year?
Yep, we just bought those this summer. We upgraded quite a bit this year.
Yeah, we didn't really our dad had some Cabela's packs
Yeah, some old
from
massive
probably
frame packs,
2012, 2010 or something.
Yeah, that was my first until I got that one. It was just a Cabela's Alaska 2 frame
Yeah.
pack, just a no frills, one big thing. It was packed out some deers, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the ones we had were pretty massive, and I remember we were probably like 13, 15 at the time, and it'd be so funny. I'd always look at Brayden, and he'd have this massive pack over his back.
yeah. Well, you read about the old timers, which is those pack boards, and you just lash stuff to the boards, or people not even using that stuff, and they're all just wearing wool, which is just absorbing the water.
Yeah.
So you just so
That's
heavy.
heavy, yeah.
And yeah, leather boots, man, just hardcore.
Yeah, our grandpa tried to
Hardcore.
give us one of those pack boards, tie it on, and I'm like, I don't know about
Does
that.
he still have it? Like that'd be a cool thing to have, like in your house. Just put it up in the garage
Oh,
or
he
on the
has
wall
it,
or
yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. What else gear wise you got?
Just bought a tent, actually. What was that, 2 days ago?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Our tent, my mom ran over the poles.
Nice.
We had them laid outside, and she ran it over. That was a bummer. But we just got a new QU. What was it? The Summit?
I forget the 3-person. I forget the name of it.
Something
but yeah,
Summit.
Something QU 3-person.
So why'd you choose that brand?
I don't
We
know.
were looking at like 3-4 different brands, and I don't know why we did that.
I don't know.
Everything was close in price range, and we just
Yeah, it is.
we
pretty
have
much all
QU,
that,
so
yeah.
we just decided to go with QU.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people make a big deal out of what they choose, but it just ends up being availability. Like
yeah.
the Stone Glacier pack, I was able to get and try on because you can't try on packs. Like, is this going to fit? How is it going to feel?
Yeah.
I was able to try it on, and all right, sure, bought it from a buddy. There you
Yeah.
go, and that's it. So, and that got me to buying the Stone Glacier pants and then some of the
Yeah.
other stuff because wow, this is pretty good quality. And this is from people who know what they're doing. They're not just throwing stuff out there to see if it might work. And some of the companies do that. They're just, hey, we can make money off this. Doesn't have to be that good. We just
Yeah.
throw it out there and see what happens. So, yeah, it just happens to be what it is.
Do you
And
have a
use it for
brand
long time.
you choose from more so than anything else?
I slowly put together a Sitka system
Yeah.
because there's some stuff on sale and then added stuff. And when they went to the sub-alpine, the older grayish digital camo, like that became,
Yeah.
it was the old model, so it was a lot cheaper. So I was like, dude, I'll take it. Yeah. So it was, I never bought any used stuff, but that stuff was on sale because they had the new stuff out and you just put that stuff together. That stuff's been great. Those, the pants with the reinforced knee and the reinforced butt are great.
Yeah.
I think they're the Timberline pant. And then the fleece hoodie, still have that after 6 years. But just that stuff kind of works and I know what it is. And so sometimes you don't want to just try another company just for the sake of trying another company.
Yeah.
But I think whether you go KUIU or you go Stone Glacier or Sitka, it's all pretty good.
Stone Glacier's getting big into or I shouldn't say they're getting big. They are big into the one color, right? They don't do camo.
They don't do any camo.
What's the benefit of that? I don't get that.
I think it kind of goes back to the roots of you don't need camo necessarily to be a good hunter. Like back in the day, the people who were hunting, they weren't hunting in camo.
Yeah.
So it kind of harkens back to that. And I think a lot of they don't really cater to that white-tailed deer in a stand type hunter. You're kind of eastern hunter, you're southern hunter, which is where camo is probably a little bit more important, or certain applications where it's pretty important. But like for Alaska, a lot of western hunt stuff like that, it's it's about wind and it's about getting to your effective range. So if you're able to do that, then you're going to be in good shape. So camo is not going to bail you out. So they've never done a camo. They've only done solids, and seems legit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get caught up in stuff and make more out of stuff than whatever. But I mean, you guys shot 4 points before you had any camo, so
Yeah, I don't think the camo really is a super big factor.
No. It's funny when you see people come up here in August and they're wearing their jacket through the airport, like brand new. Here you are to hunt, brand new. Thing still has the tag on it. And then the people off the cruise ships too that are wearing that, like, oh, I wish I was here for something else. I'm on the family cruise.
Yeah.
But I wish I was here. Where's Steve Rinella? I know he has a cabin somewhere in Prince Wales.
Somewhere
Where
over.
is he? Yeah. But it's good gear. It's good gear.
Yeah.
It's good gear.
I was told that the backpacks weren't really all that though.
Weren't
the
really?
QU.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
3 or 4 different people told me not to buy it.
Yeah. And I think that depends on what the company starts doing. Stone Glacier, I think they started with packs.
Yeah.
And it was, we're going to design this and we're going to do this well. We're not going to flood the market with a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, let's make really, really good packs.
Yeah.
And then I think they kind of slowly moved into other things. And when they got bought by Vista, that provided them with a lot more capital so they could, because sometimes you just can't grow and have the money to grow.
Yeah.
You can't just, you have a successful airplane business here in Ketchikan, you can't just buy 5 more planes. It's like, well, we don't have the money to start with, right? It's just not going to work. So they were able to get more capital, and they're able to make more products, which has been pretty cool to see that. But I think if you're a gear brand, like I don't think the Sitka packs are probably great. They're probably good, but they've already made their money. It was mostly in technology for gear or for clothing. So I don't know how their packs would be, and it tends to be, if you're a pack company first, then you tend to excel at that, I would think. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But shoot, I don't know. I don't know what's next. Gear-wise, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
What do you got for boots? That's
crispy.
Yep.
That's what I have.
Yeah,
Right?
they're pretty nice.
Yep. I think I got the Nevadas, I'm pretty sure. And then
I bought a pair I shouldn't have. They were too low.
Oh,
I don't know what they're called. I think they're called. They might even be called something Summit again too. Pretty sure. But yeah, they're just too low. I mean, they're waterproof. They're nice, but
yeah, you need that ankle support going up the mountains. And it's going to be real slick too, so your foot's always just kind of clenched over. I like the Crispies because they're a medium stiff sole. I got a pair of Loas that were really, really stiff. Some of the sheep hunters and actually Tyler Friel recommended, and I don't know what that dude's feet are. Those people who can wear those, they just don't move at all.
Yeah, I don't
Which is kind of what they're looking for. But I got the insulated ones too, which is a problem too, because that absorbs a lot of extra moisture. And so if you have heavy socks on and you have moisture in the insulated boot, like that's just a lot. It just tore up my feet pretty bad. So I couldn't really get them to break in. So I needed like a little bit less stiff sole. And the Crispy is really good with that. But a lot of people really like Loa and some of those stiffer soles, but I don't know. Just got to meet your feet. That's another thing too. Be able to try on stuff is big.
Yeah. I've never had that opportunity to do that, honestly.
When you could just walk around the store and you can kind of tell, but how is this going to work on a mountain?
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Coming down, your feet can be great coming up, but coming down, your feet all of a sudden just start scrunching the toe box and you start rubbing the skin off the tops of the feet. But I don't know.
Degan my grandpa had a pair of his hiking boots. He's like, "Oh, these will work great for you, Degan." And what happened to him?
Yeah, so I get to the top of the mountain, and all of a sudden the full bottom is peeling off. And so it was gone by once I got to the top, and I was pretty much hiking around in socks at that point.
Nice. Both of them or just one?
Oh, just one of them. The other one started to come off, but I had one.
Didn't the whole bottom completely come off at one point?
Completely off, yeah. So like I said, walking around in socks at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alaska will do that.
Yeah.
Alaska will do that. I saw a couple people hunting in the Frog Tog. Have you seen that rain gear? It's like $20.
I don't know if I have.
It's a couple steps up from the like plastic poncho.
Oh yeah.
But the brand is Frog Tog, and it's it is waterproof, but not at all. You just get torn up. I had a buddy that came up and was wearing that. I got these great Frog Tog, and it's totally waterproof. The whole suit for $40. Like, all right. Yeah. He blew out the crotch in like hour 2.
Yeah.
And then underneath the sleeve started ripping, and the sleeve started to tear off. It was just horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with shoes that aren't meant to be. Like, you can be waterproof if you're in a rainstorm, and then you're walking around, and after that they dry out or they never get wet. But when you're in the muskeg or on the muskeg, or even kicking the plants up in the alpine, just 3 hours of walking around on the damp vegetation up there, water's going to start seeping through.
Oh yeah, it seeps up your leg. I've had that happen.
So it's like waterproof shoes, as waterproof as possible. But I mean, if it leaks within the first couple of weeks, I just kind of expect that because it's so wet here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You ever taken extra tough boots into the alpine?
Oh yeah.
We've taken tennis shoes.
Yeah, that's true Alaskan right there.
Yeah, but we used to use the shorty deck bosses. Before we had actual hiking shoes, we'd take those to the alpine.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. I almost broke my ankle, I think, a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that the other ones give you that much more deck support, but it seems like that would just get soaking wet too.
Oh yeah, completely all the time.
Yeah.
That was just something we just never bought shoes.
Yeah.
We kind of had the attitude, wait till you're full grown to buy anything that you want to.
Yeah. Don't want to grow out of it, spend all that
That's
money.
true. That's good. That's good. If you
But-
bought everything, yeah. But man,
Made for some brutal days
shoes.
sometimes.
Yeah, that's horrible, miserable. Yeah, that's a nice thing that if you have memories of hardly any gear,
Yeah.
when you don't really know what's going on, if you have those memories, it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
And you appreciate the stuff that you have. Like I
Yeah.
love the heck out of that Stone Glacier pack. Love the tent. Love like all the stuff that I have. I'm so happy. And I appreciate it more because I remember when I didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Those first binos that couldn't tell me hardly anything.
Mm-hmm.
I looked through them and it was like, oh, all it does is make me feel like I'm cross-eyed. Like they're horrible. So to have a good set of glass. And I love my Vortex. And my buddy, he got some Swaros. And they're that much better,
Yeah.
especially at low light. But I'm like, I'm so happy with my Vortex still. I
Yeah.
can't even be upset.
We were gonna buy some of those
Swarovski.
Swaros?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
too much.
Pretty pricey.
What do you
yeah.
guys have for optics?
I think we got
Leupold?
Leupold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you have on your scopes and binos too?
We
Like
had
rifle scopes?
I have a Leupold on my new rifle I just bought this year, but we had Redfield, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I actually really liked them.
sounds similar.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I got a Weaver scope that came with my 270,
Yeah,
and it was fine. Again,
Yeah.
for what I'm shooting, I'm not shooting out to 500, 600 yards.
Yeah.
100, 150 yard shots, it was fine. It was at that point is as good as I could aim the rifle. That was
Yeah.
the main difference. What kind of rifle did you get?
Christensen Arms.
Oh.
Upgraded pretty well.
That's a nice one. What'd you have before?
Just a little cheapo Ruger,
Nice.
but yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah, I think I had the same Ruger. We got two 308s.
He
Same
he still
Redfield
has the
scope.
Ruger. He
Yeah.
hasn't
Okay.
he doesn't have enough money
I'll
yet.
probably just use
Yeah.
his gun when it's my turn to
Yeah.
shoot.
How much stuff do you guys share?
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I mean, we were sharing binos last year. We only took one rifle.
Well, I had a rifle, and then you had your bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you decide who shoots first? Like, has there ever been a conflict? Has there been?
Oh no,
Was it the hunt last year where you guys both got mashers? Right? Was that last year?
I think that was that 2 years ago?
Oh, that was 2
2
years
years
ago.
ago?
But we
Yeah,
also
yeah.
did last year shoot some nice ones.
Yeah.
Degan always seems to be the guy who, you guys could shoot, you could shoot, waits, and then ends up getting the biggest buck.
Yeah.
Dang. So you're the patient one,
Yeah.
and you're watching them shoot 4 points,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Oh, the bigger one's coming."
yeah.
And he does it.
Dang.
He's done it twice in the
Dang.
last 2 years, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, usually Brayden, he's always nice. He's always, Degan, you can have first shot. But I don't know. I think Brayden's going to get first shot this year. He's gone on a couple alpine hunts in the past couple of years and shot last.
Yeah.
Watch us shoot nice bucks and then not getting anything. So
Yeah, usually
I'm
I just
gonna
won't
let him
shoot one at
shoot
that
first
point.
this
Yeah.
year.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, it's hard to plan. It goes so fast too.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
a plan, then all it takes is that first week to be super hot or super socked in, and all of a sudden you're at your second week of August.
Yeah.
Time's already running out,
You only
and
got-
then
yeah.
things are changing, and man, if all it takes is a little bit, but it goes fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, excited for this year.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
When where are you working right now, Brayden?
Sea Wind Aviation.
You're like driving van. You're not flying for him.
No, I'm just like practicing, just like starting the planes and taxiing them to. There's 2 docks they have, so just kind of getting comfortable being down there. Might get my commercial this winter.
Nice, very good. And then, so you'll be around all the way until winter.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
good. And then Degan, when you head back.
I think the 28th of August.
Okay, so you got,
He's taking August
I'm
completely
taking
off.
August off. So yeah, I'm working at Hump Island Oyster Farm right now.
and you're taking all of August
All
off
August
from work.
off,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, yeah.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't need to shoot first this year.
No. Wow. Well, that's good. You can fill the whole thing there.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
definitely.
patient, but yeah, that's good. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Get some quality hours in. If it's day one of the season, would you tag if you had unlimited time to hike out? Obviously, would you take 2, 3, 4? Would you tag out in your first week?
Yeah,
I guess
don't know.
yeah.
You know-
One trip, maybe one trip. Let's say one trip. Let's say that you're going on a fly out. If there were 4 banger 4 points, would you tag out on the one fly out and just be done on August 2nd?
I want to say yes because it's 4 points, but I don't know. I think I'd want to go on a couple hunts at least. So maybe I'd take 3 of them. I'd take 3 of them and save for that masher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Brayden?
I might shoot them all. I don't know. That'd be hard to. No, at least 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's not all about, killing the deer. It's hiking the mountains, so fun, spending time with my brother and family and stuff, so at least go on a couple more hunts that same year,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool thing that you'll appreciate, or it sounds like you are appreciating that. You had so much time together when you were growing up, and then like when my brother went off to college, I was like, oh, the guy that used to live here is gone.
Yeah.
You only see each other once or twice a year for maybe a couple of weeks, and my brother was in med school, so like he was gone a lot. We didn't have summers together, so it was different. So it's cool to have that frame of mind that this is a cool thing to appreciate now rather than later. And time with Dad too, I'm sure. Like,
definitely.
Does he have some mega bucks to his name?
No, he has never shot a 4-point or anything. He will let us shoot him all day though. He doesn't really care. He wants to shoot one though. He says, "I need to shoot one."
Yeah.
So this year we're gonna try to get him one. But
there you go.
He's too nice. He doesn't he'll pass you the gun right when he sees it. Here, you shoot it.
Nice. That's cool. That's good. Yeah, it's a good. You have to appreciate that a lot because not a lot of people have. Well, a lot of people have that, but not necessarily have exactly what that is. A lot of people have good families at home, loving families at home, but the opportunities that you've had as a result of that is something that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure you have memories of classmates, and you think, wow, I'm pretty appreciative that I have the family that I have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pretty tough on some kids. Doesn't mean that they're going to be like turning out bad or anything like that. A lot of kids didn't have a whole lot, end up being really, really cool and successful. But it's a cool thing to appreciate. But if you could go on one big hunt, what would it be, or something to save money for?
I've always wanted to get an elk, maybe like a archery elk down south, or maybe even Ellen Island. And also, I've always wanted to do a Dall sheep.
That's what I was going to say.
would be
Dall
pretty
sheep
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, the Dall sheep's got to happen.
I don't have enough knowledge to go on a Dall sheep hunt yet, but in the future I would like to.
The scary thing about the Dall sheep would be full curl.
That's
There's
what
no
I'm
way I'm
scared of,
counting
yeah.
rings. Like when I was up in, wife and I were doing some hikes in and around Denali and looking at sheep and thinking, okay, that one's clearly not. But there were a couple like, whoa, that thing's awesome. Is it full curl? And there was one that clearly was, but it was in the park, and so it's not going to exist outside of it. But I'd be so nervous.
It seems to be that they're always right there too. All the ones that
Yeah. It's because they don't curl exactly. They kind of flare out. They can flare out a little bit, and you have to get a different view. And I'd need to go with someone who really knows, who can say, yeah, shoot that thing. I'd love to shoot a double broomed one that we don't have to worry about.
Yeah,
It's just like, okay, we're good.
Sweet,
don't have to worry. But yeah, people are talking about counting rings, and I knew it was this. Man, but you got to have that experience. But yeah, it's something that you got to do.
I went on a mule deer hunt where you had to count points, and it had a third point that was very close to an inch and an eye guard that was very close to an inch.
Oh, so it was eye guard counting too?
Yeah, an eye guard was counting.
Okay.
It just three 1-inch points on at least one side.
Okay.
And I shot it, and I was kind of skeptical, but it ended up being a 3x3 with both eye guards.
Yeah, that's the thing. Understanding what the regulations are and what they mean by that is huge too. I was looking at some of the moose stuff for the hunt we're going to do in September, and like what constitutes a brow tine versus there's the gap between the brow tines and the paddle. Whatever point is in there, it doesn't count. It's like a mid bay or whatever point. That's not an actual brow tine. So just getting all that stuff figured out. In some areas it's 3 brow tines. Some areas it's 4 or more.
Yeah.
Because again, I can't with 50 inches. I don't know. I'm not going to be
how are you gonna
even thinking about that. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Makes it a little bit more nerve wracking. And then of course you're shooting a massive animal like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta, if you happen to shoot a bad shot on a blacktail, it's still going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a moose, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. So yeah, those interior things that we don't have down here. I guess there's good moose hunting around, but not the same level.
Yeah.
But that interior stuff, there's so much to do. It's just hard to get up there. It's expensive.
Oh yeah.
And then, like you said, figuring it out, like who's gonna put you on a good spot? Because you start walking in from somewhere, and like, oh yeah, there's no rams here. Like, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You just waste 10 days
Yeah.
hiking around, and there's no legal rams or any rams at all. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's gotta be something to do. So
One day.
one day.
Not anytime soon for me, but
Well, shoot, once you get the license, man, that's going to be your pilot's license there. Yeah, then.
Well, me and Degan were planning on going scouting some new mountains to maybe alpine hunt this year, but that just didn't happen.
Well, it's good to be patient about stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too much knowledge right off the bat, and then it won't be fun.
Well, I mean, if you're going up to some of these alpine lakes to land a plane, like that's a good thing to be really good at.
Oh yeah.
I have a friend from Craig who lives up in Anchorage now, and she got her pilot's license, and her goal this year was to fly the plane into a spot and then go shoot a mountain goat. I was like, that is a cool thing to do, because they have those when the water's low in a lot of those rivers. You have those. You can land on the beach or on the bank there, which is pretty nice. So
they got the big Tundra tires. I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, big ol'. So but flying is part of the culture. It's the history of Alaska. A lot of people, back to the people who are open cockpit, worried about the oil freezing at negative 60. Like, who are you people?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, anything else? What else you got?
I don't know.
All right. There it is.
That's it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Thanks
for
for
having
coming
us.
over. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great chatting with you guys, and we'll be in touch, and we can talk about
Absolutely.
specific things off the air now.
Sounds good.